much about this game, and I feel like I could be good at it. So I got some coaching, funny enough, through Awkward, who I no longer associate with because of the stuff he's been saying recently. But
Fair enough.
he was a very, very good coach, and took me from like low plat to my peak was masters too, and I ended up getting on the college team here at Lander.
Nice.
And, yeah. So that's why I'm interested in coaching. I've kind of taken the leadership role, the like team leader. I play flex support for them, and I make all the calls. I kind of try to direct the team, and I just want to, I guess, improve my fundamentals maybe, so I can do more focus on the keeping the team together and playing as a team, because that's all on me.
So you're thinking I want to be a better I want to understand the game from my endpoint so well that I don't really have to worry about thinking about it in the match. I can focus on being like the teacher of the club.
Yes, that's what I think, because there's times in games where I really try to focus up and calm suffer from it. No one else is talking, and then it's on me, right? But it's like, well, I needed to perform in this particular moment, but so that's why I think I'm not sure how to go about it, but that's the approach I've been taking.
Makes sense. Okay, so we'll figure that out. Now, why have you taken this leadership role? Are you the highest ranked player in the team? Is it just something that comes naturally to you personally?
It comes naturally, and I'm the second highest ranked. But just we have our tank player is a very not very outspoken. So, and the DPS, it's not really a good job for them to have, and then after that, it's pretty much me.
Okay, makes sense. Now I'm seeing here that are you flex DPS or flex support?
Flex support.
Okay, so you went back. So you went from flex support to flex DPS back to flex support.
Yes. We had a issue with one of our. He was our best player. He's no longer on the team, but we needed that spot filled, and we had a backup support. So they're going to move me to DPS. But,
okay.
Like I said, for comm reasons and stuff, that just did not work out well at all. Me not doing that, so I moved back to support.
Makes sense.
Which is what I prefer.
Okay. And obviously, I assume that since you've kind of come back since the collegiate, like when was that collegiate thing? When did that happen? When was the awkward coaching? When were you plat? When was that transition happening?
It would be easy if I just looked at it on the seasons on my profile.
Okay.
So season 1 got placed gold. Let's see, season 5 is when I picked up the coaching from Awkward.
Got it.
Put in a bunch of hours onto support.
7 months ago? 6-7 months ago? Something like that?
Yeah. And then I peaked season 8 in Masters too. But I stopped coaching with him around season 7.
Okay, makes sense.
So 5 to 7.
Makes sense. Now, what did you find useful about his coaching? Because I'm with you, especially for support. I really think his coaching is exceptional.
I think it's great. He's been getting some hate recently, but when it comes to the coaching, what attracted me was his YouTube videos of how he made the game so simple. His pretty much, and then this is how my coach Simplistic explains it too: is do as much damage as possible and take as little as possible, and then he just Awkward just teaches the fundamentals very, very well.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's what I think. That's the approach I like taking.
I agree.
I think it works well.
Okay. Sounds good. So now you're looking to kind of expand that a little bit. Okay. And then when you're talking about your flex support play, I think that some of this is answered in the form, but I'd like to jump the gun here. What about your flex support play, when you talk about fundamentals that you're missing or things that you want to improve on, what comes to mind immediately? Or is it just, I'm not sure what I don't know?
The first thing that comes to mind is ability usage, and definitely ability usage and ult usage. I got some coaching from Ultraviolet because he's such a great player, and that's something he pointed out too, was just my abilities were not being used very well at all. And then other than that, I think I got pretty good rotations and positioning and all that from like Awkward. Of course it can be improved, but that's the first thing that comes to mind is cooldowns.
That's definitely a strong point for Awkward is the positioning and rotation stuff. I think his coaching of the rotations and never stop moving, I would always, because I'm myself, I would love to add context to that. which is what I call dynamic positioning. But he is one of the only coaches out there that I know that actually coaches that, and I think it's really important. But obviously, when it comes to CD usage, what did Ultraviolet say besides the fact that you suck?
Yeah. Pretty much that I need to, we looked at some BAP and some Zenyatta because that's who I've been playing recently. Not so much more Zenyatta anymore. It's not really working for us. But making sure that I'm saving people with it, right? Like if I'm using Shift or Lamp, that someone will die. And I guess it's just because of the changes and the DPS passive, I'm kind of a little more jump the gun because I don't know if they need that sustain because I'm not going to be able to heal them up as fast.
Right.
But just using cooldowns early.
Okay. Makes sense. I mean, that's definitely something that I'm a big hater of, is wasting BAP shift. I've been known for that for like 3 years, 4 years. So
I waste BAP shift pretty much 24/7.
Okay. Well, we'll take a look at that. Playing around 2 to 12 hours of comp and 2 hours. Oh, so you guys scrim twice a week. Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a lot. That's a decent amount of Overwatch.
I play a lot.
Now, how do you structure your playtime? On non-scrim and scrim days.
On scrim days, I will get there 2 hours prior and play comp either by myself or with a teammate or two. And then, of course, we scrim for the 2 hour block. On non-scrim days, I come in still at, pretty much every night once I'm done with school or done with work, whatever I got for the day. I'll play another few hours, typically 2 to 3 with either solo queue or with some other friends from other colleges that play.
Okay, makes sense. Now, going back to your other forum, you said on scrim days you do ranked first?
Yes, sir.
How
long? Typically an hour.
Right, and then you scrim afterwards?
Yes, sir.
And then you call it there?
Sometimes I keep playing after. Most times I keep playing after. I get back on ladder. Maybe another hour, 2 hours.
Okay.
It kind of depends on what's going on.
Okay, sounds good. I'd try to limit that to 1 hour afterwards if I could.
Okay.
I think 4 hours is a good sweet spot, especially for someone who's also involved in school. This isn't your job. 4 hours is a lot of Overwatch. That's going to be about as much as you can handle, I would say.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Play it by ear. It's a very soft general guideline, but just keep that in mind. And I think on your non-scrim days, 3 hours is more than fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's going to be very, very, very good. I would say that you would not need to worry about bumping those numbers up until you're approaching top 500, and maybe not even then. So it's going to be about the quality of the hours. And this is where I'm going to give you some advice. First things first, do you have a warm-up routine?
If anything, and this is an if, I do some Vaxta. And I practice like weaving, or I do their challenge thing.
Yeah.
My team and I, on scrim days, I forgot to mention this. We'll use the try hard free for all code, and we'll all go in there and try hard.
Ooh, nice.
I really like when we can do that, but it doesn't happen all the time, 24/7. And those lobbies are never really. They're dead in NA. There's never one.
Yeah, they're dead. They're almost totally dead. I always use try hard EU, but that's kind of a mixed bag. Okay, I would say try to warm up with Vaxa every day if you can. On the days where you have tryhard FFA with your teammates, you can skip it. But on days where you don't skip warm up. That being said, the length of your warm up can be 5 minutes. That's usually all I need. If I'm really, really, really grinding in, like focusing on like just hit every single shot, just waking myself up, 5 minutes is good. But I think that rapid exposure, if you take that and apply that in ranked, I find that sometimes it'll take me an entire ranked game to warm up if I don't play Vaxta. Just because you don't shoot near as much in ranked as you do in Vaxta. So it's like you want to make sure that you're just squeezing out all the rust so there's no wasted time. You're never ever thinking, oh, I would have hit that shot if I was warm up, or oh, what's wrong with my mechanics? You can completely focus on your cooldown management, your positioning, and stuff like that, and not think about your mechanics at all. In addition to that, I think you need to be taking consistent breaks. During your scrim days and during your non-scrim days. And you need to be getting up from the computer. I don't know what your computer area looks like.
Practice that, yeah.
Right.
At home, I get up and walk around per your advice from, your other coaching sessions.
Excellent.
While we're there, we call for 5 minutes. And I'm the only one that stands up, but I stand up and we have
take it. That takes maturity. And I the more I get involved with that, myself using it and me coaching it, the more I find the value. And I do it on stream. I don't know if you've seen me playing far on stream recently. Every single game, I'm getting up and walking around. And I'm telling you, it works. I feel so much more energized. And I surprise myself how long I can stay focused with just that. And yesterday, if you want a little sneak peek into what I'm working on behind the scenes, I've been working on a sports psychology segment video. And I was talking with 2 professional sports psychologists that work in the esports scenes. One out of the UK, one out of Canada. One of them worked for the Toronto Defiant. Another one worked in a lot of the Overwatch scenes and the COD scenes and the Valorant scenes in Europe. And they were actually recommending, but I did not prompt this. They're like, yeah, you need to be taking breaks, like short breaks between queues and taking short walk. They really were like, yeah, walking is really great between. I'm sitting there like, I'm trying not to look smug, but I'm like, yes, validation. So yeah, I mean, it's good. That's good. So I'm glad to hear that. I don't really have anything else in regards to playtime. Do you have any other questions regarding that?
No, sir.
Okay. You sound like you've done your homework here. Short term is to gain better decision making. Long term to improve, become one of the best flex supports in the game. Great. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? We talked about that, specifically CD usage. In the forum, you said positioning and rotations, but I assume that was more to do with DPS.
No, that was still that
stuff.
But since then, like I said, I got coaching from Awkward kind of during when I did that forum forever ago. And but I think that's something I can focus on pretty well, and I can VOD review myself, and I've gotten better at, and I feel like I do that pretty well. And like I said, Ultraviolet's the one who put me on to pointing out my cooldown usage is pretty bad. So I thought maybe that's what we should focus on.
If you have not seen this, let me send this to you as well. If you get a chance in the future, I'm not sure if you've seen that.
Oh, I haven't.
Okay, that would be my elaboration on what Awkward coaches. Let's put it that way.
Okay, cool.
Very important skill. More high level stuff. So it's not something I push to a lot of lower ranked players, but it's extremely important. Okay, sleep looks good.
Me lower rank?
No, I said that's why you're getting the videos, because I wouldn't send that to a lower ranked player, right? Yeah, I don't really have any other questions on your form. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, let's jump in.
I'm sure they'll come up, and I'll talk to you about it. I have 2 codes already ready. I would like to look at the BAP game on Circuit first.
Is this a sniper matchup?
Yes, we have snipers.
I pity you.
That's why I think it's
the most boring support play in the entire game, actually. It's playing Baptiste into snipers.
Yeah, and this is from an actual game we had.
Nice. Oh yeah, how often do y'all have a game? Is it a weekly thing or?
Twice a week.
Twice a week. Nice. So you guys scrim twice a week and play twice a week. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. That's a really, really fun schedule. I know the quality of those games is pretty mixed, I'm sure, but so
like this was a easier level game in my opinion, but I'm sure I still make even when we play worser teams, I feel like my my errors that I'm making are still very apparent. It's like, why didn't I capitalize on that?
Right.
I want to be able to see that.
Okay, makes sense. Any questions about the specific matchup, or do you just want to roll right into it?
No, sir. I pretty much understand it pretty well.
Okay, let's take a look.
I think I'm just going to try to help my Sig win the Shield War, right? Just do a bunch of pressure to it.
That's it. Basically, this is why this is such a crappy matchup for you, is because basically what you do is 95% of the time very boring and easy. But
okay, that's what I felt like too. That's also why I wanted to look at this, because it's like when I watched it back, I was like, I just shoot Sig Shield.
Here's what it is, though. There are brief moments where you have to be perfect. It's those 5%. And that's where you differentiate the great BAPs and the bad BAPs in this matchup. For example, right here, you've already made a mistake. Your Widow should have died.
Yeah.
You can't be surprised by this. Another example here would have been, for example, if your Sigma doesn't have shift and they BAP window, or your Sigma shifts and you see the accretion from the enemy Sigma coming in on the rock, you should already be lamping, because you know that he's going to need it. It's like those brief windows of time that they need support, and you need to be ready for those. We'll talk more about what those look like in a second, but for right now, we'll just kind of let it play.
Yeah. That's why I feel like BAP is so stressful. My teammates tell me it's easy, but I'm like, you don't understand.
Well, it's very easy 95% of the time, but you make one mistake and somebody dies.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean is,
right.
If something goes bad, it's my fault.
Right. Whereas if you play BAP in like a Brawl mirror, yes, there's moments of importance as well, but there's also a lot more opportunity to just do cool things. So let's actually talk a little bit about this here. I would prefer you to hold the angle here, just simply so that you create a little bit of a distance. And I know you're worried about like Widow peeking you. And yes, there's always that chance that she's going to swing wide and get to you. But I would prefer you to maintain just a little bit of distance between yourself and the Genji Sig. Just create some separation. And this is another one of those times as well where I see this here. The lamp should already have gone out, not because, oh, I should have reacted to him being critical. You have all the information that you need on your screen right now. You see it?
He's in front of my Sig. My Sig doesn't have his shield up, and yeah, the Genji's right there.
They're right there. The Sigma and the Genji are right there, and the Hanzo's right there. This is all the information you need to already be looking at this guy and being like literally your finger hovering over a lamp.
Okay.
And these are the things that you need to be looking for. What it is it's the preemptive cues. Like for example, right here, we go back to the Genji mistake. Remember this?
Yeah.
What's the problem here?
Is I wasn't even looking to see if they had someone flanking.
Well, not even that. Do you see a problem here? What do you see? Somebody's missing. You see only one DPS, right? Are they on Hanzo, Tracer, Genji?
Yep, I don't know. Yeah.
Right. So it's more of what you don't see. It's more of these. I want you to pay attention to these cues. Somebody's missing. Where are they?
Yeah.
This Genji is right on top of your Hanzo. What do you think is going to happen?
I tried to shift it because I mean, like you said, I foresaw it coming, but this is a lamp scenario.
Well, yes and no, because you're not wrong. Would a shift have saved him here? Yeah,
I believe so. But
possibly.
It was late.
Yeah, possibly. So let's live with that. But the shift was late too.
Yeah.
Right. So either way, no matter what cooldown you want to use, I just want it to be something that you anticipate because of what you see on your screen, not something that you force yourself to react to.
Okay. And then so I try to anticipate, and that's why I feel like sometimes I end up wasting my cooldowns a lot.
So then if it's a reasonable anticipation and you waste it, it's fine.
Okay.
If you go back and you go, yeah, see, that was unreasonable, but he was actually further away than I think, then it was bad. You need to try and be as objective as you possibly can, because the reality of the situation is you could be the best Baptiste in the world and you cannot perfectly predict the future. Like, for example, if we'd gone here and you reacted to Genji, oh no, he's on top of me. Yeah, I used my shift. Would that have been a wasted shift? Probably not. I mean, I would have expected him to get a kill there, right? Wouldn't you?
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. I would expect him on the jump to get a kill.
But you can't predict it. So your job is not to perfectly use cooldowns when they're needed and perfectly not. It's to make a reasonable assumption based off of what you see and then not second guess yourself.
Okay.
The problem you're doing right now is you're not making correct assumptions. You're not predicting at all. Or you're looking at a battlefield with complete information and doing something stupid like, oh, I'm going to lamp this, but this person's behind a corner. They're not under any threat at all. Why are you lamping that, right? That's kind of what we're looking for. Now, actually here, there's some good news for you anyway. Because they're on Tracer now. I don't know. Are they going to stay Tracer? I want them to stay Tracer. No, they don't stay Tracer. For a second, I was going to say, hey, you can shoot. You can play the video game. But nah. Oh. It was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he downed himself there.
I really like the offensive pressure here. It's really, really good. Like the thing with Baptiste is the rules is that anytime that you can shoot something, you can. You won't always be able to shoot something, but you look at this here and you're like, hey, there's no Widow to worry about right now, so I'm going to do damage while I can, and that damage ends up mattering, right?
Yeah.
And ends up being maybe the difference right there, 30, 40, 50 damage there. That means maybe it's the difference, and so that was huge. Well done.
Thank you.
And even here, right, based off of what you could see, you know where the Widow is, right? So you can afford to peek just a little bit here. Now, this is too far.
Yeah.
And your Hanzo pays the price, right? I think maybe he egos this there, but just something to be aware of. So that might be where you have to not worry about the shield work.
Yeah. Like something I notice I do bad in these matchups is like playing my corners like I do in comp. Like I don't in a team setting. I'm awful at playing corners. I feel like we.
Why do you think like that's the case?
Well, we're not a very good. The only thing we can play well is brawl, and I've just gotten in such a broad mindset, and then the comms we make and all that. I just completely neglect still playing my positions right, because like I said, that's something that fundamentally isn't ingrained in me. It's still like something I have to think about.
Right. So what you need to do is you need to treat ranked like every other player does, and treat it like training wheels, right? Like where you need to be repping these individual skills. And so that when you get into these environments, you can rely on your communication and not worry about your cover usage as much. You need to practice your cover usage in ranked until it becomes automatic, right?
Yeah, and which that's what I try to do.
Right. Great job. Nice job. Any opportunity you can shoot, do it. Now, was this a waste of a CD?
With foresight, knowing what happens, I would say yes. In the moment, I felt like it was warranted because I'm discorded. I knew it was about half, and I thought if I could lamp and still play in this doorway, I could kill the Zen.
Here's a question: what cooldown probably would have made a lot more sense?
A shift would have made much more sense. Yeah.
I agree that a cooldown was necessary. Maybe not necessary, but reasonable. I think that headshot from that Zenyatta was pretty reasonable to come in. But lamp was not the play there.
Yeah.
Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Careful.
Yeah, body shot.
I think if you wanted to make this crossing here, if you backed up and crossed here, I think you're good. I think you're outside of her fall off range for one shot.
I didn't even think about that.
But yeah, if you're gonna peek that there, at least peek it with a lot of distance. I only know that because I used to play when I was on my Life Weaver grind, trying to learn how to coach the character better. I used to ego widows from like back here. I would just hold because you had no spread on your weapon. So I just burst a weapon and just like take off their entire health pool and just. I couldn't do anything else in a sniper mirror with Life Weaver, so I was like, all right, well, I might as well try and harass their widow. Now, this is another one of those things where it becomes incredibly important for Baptiste to play correctly, because you're about to go with Bat Window, right? So what are you thinking with Bat Window here?
My main thing with Bat Window is I know it's a team setting. I know I can use it for my team. That never goes well. And in my mind, I think I try to identify a target. I'll communicate that to my team in advance, I think the Zen in this scenario, right? Like if I can force out Trank from him, or maybe if I can one clip the BAP, or those are targets I can go for. Like a Widow, maybe I could. The Sig, he's not going to die. The Genji, he'll probably deflect dash. So I think, okay, this is the target I'm gonna shoot if I can, or targets. And then when I see the opportunity, I'll drop window and just try to clip him.
So you said Sigma won't die. What is that?
Well, Sigma initially, right, like in the start of a fight, he's got shield, he's got his E. I don't see him dying unless his cooldowns are used.
Sure. So if you were to look to ultimate a Sigma, what would you be looking for?
I would wait for him to use his grasp and pretty much have a low shield.
Sure. There's lots of things that you can do in combination with that. For example, you can utilize your BAP window on a location where the Sigma's committed, and then have your Sigma use a rock on him, and you'll guarantee the kill. You could also have situations where you use your BAP window to force all the Sigma's cooldowns, and then your Sigma fluxes, and then because he doesn't have his shift in the air, he dies midair. There's situations where you can use the dragon that you guys have, maybe soon, to split the Sigma from his team, focus him down, force his shift, and BAP window and kill. Or, like you said, you can wait for one of the squishies to peak here. Basically, the higher level teams are going to be pretty cautious around avoiding BAP window, so you might just have to use your BAP window in combination with something else to make it work. Heck, you could even use BAP window to force an awkward Genji blade, right? Where we're going to force the Genji, let's say dashes over here. We use our BAP window on... We use our BAP window, isolate the Genji, and then he has to try to get out or die, and he gets split, basically because his backline can't be. So let's see how you do.
Okay.
Reasonable or stupid?
Worth.
Why? Why is it worth?
He's discorded. I saw him. In my mind, I got this from one of your videos, is when you're playing BAP, a shift is only, or a lamp is only necessary if he uses his grasp.
So
I saw him use it. I saw he's discorded and he's crit. I see it as a perfect time to lamp.
I think so too. Well done. I think that was the difference there too.
That's something I ask him to call out for me is when he uses his I don't know what bind that is. E, right? When he uses his shift. His shift.
Accretion is E.
I have custom bind, so
I want you to look at this. Look at this. Yeah. Oh, I mean that guy was dead. That guy was absolutely cooked. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
And notice that when did you learn that this was going to be necessary? You said it, right? Right here.
Right there.
This is when you knew that okay, I need to be ready. That's what I needed to, and so your reaction time was not too slow because you knew.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's an easy one to foresee for me for my SIG. It's hard, right, I guess, for my squishies when I know.
Right, but if you think about it, there's only so many things that you need to be looking out for, right? Look at their comp. Like, what are some things that you need to be lamping? Besides ultimates, right?
Yeah, ultimates.
Sig shift, right?
Sig shift and any Genji dash.
Right, probably. Genji gets close to any of your squishies, probably lamp or shift that. That's it.
Okay.
Now, let's talk about this here.
All right.
I don't like this shift. I understand that, okay, he's kind of critish-ish, and you're going to get some healing out of this, but probably not necessary. Why?
He's not going to die.
Why? Why?
Only person that can maybe see him is the enemy Sig, and he's on cover.
Right. It's the cover thing, right? The reason why that's such a major issue here is because do you see what you're doing now?
Yeah. Going in very aggressive, and if I have shift to stay in my window longer, it'd be probably more beneficial.
That it would. Now, I'm going to ask you something here. Did you know the status of the Sigma shift?
If I had to think, no, I knew he probably had it, but I still saw this as a moment to window because he was so far forward on the payload is what I draw lines like you talk about. I had a line here in my mind, I believe. I said he's so far up that regardless if he uses CDs, we could probably kill him. So I'm calling Sig here.
Well, right. The closer he is, the easier the rock, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. And not only that, but also there's likely to be juicy things behind him. And sure enough, there they are. So yeah, I think it's a great window. I don't know why he doesn't use his kinetic grasp, but
he missed the flux on the blade. That's unfortunate. But so that shift was used because I knew I was about to window and I didn't want to have to waste time healing. But that's not, I mean, that should never be a concern, right?
And you see how it costs you here.
Yeah, like if I shift here, he probably lives another swing and maybe the Genji dies.
Mm-hmm. Remember, it's the 5%.
Yeah.
Right? 95%, you're fine. Shooting shield, chilling. Oh dear. You screw up that once, you're cooked.
Yeah. I don't know what that was.
I don't either.
I was letting him cook as
he's swapping.
As the cool kids say. I think so.
Okay.
I don't remember what he swaps to. Soldier, yeah, he plays soldier.
So I'm going to give you another 5%. Or you're going to give me another 5%.
All right. Let me watch it. Another 5%. Could I have maybe avoided the flux? Is that what you're getting at?
Potentially. Honest question here. If you're Violet in the Overwatch League, what happens right now?
Dead. Instantly,
okay.
Yeah.
So what can you do? What can you do while still putting out pressure like you are right now?
Just not go far up. Like if I just stayed back on that corner, on that ledge where I was at.
Like here or here?
Yeah, here would be fine.
Here, literally using the trees, unironically. Or using the corner here. This is a pretty common BAP tech on this map, is just because lamp, you will die before you get to lamp. is trying to find somewhere to LOS, right? Another advanced tech here is that you'll have your Sigma purposely take Flux with you so that he can body block for you. But you don't need all that crazy fancy stuff. You just need to know this jackass has Flux, and I don't need to be here to shoot him in the face.
Yeah,
that's it.
You're right.
That's it.
And that's what I mean. Like, as you see, I'm standing on the open. I normally never play like this.
Normally, but see, that's a cop out.
Yeah, you're right.
That's not true. That's not true. You normally don't play like this when you're thinking really hard about your positioning, but deep down, this is what you default to.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Because you go back to the damage mindset, which is great, but needs to be tempered to prioritize cover too.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to build those habits. And for you, it's simply with that proactivity, more of a priority on your cover.
And I'm bad about staggering. I'm a stagger this fight.
Well,
I should just walk and die on point, right?
Maybe. This fight still winnable?
Yeah, it is.
Kind of. With the angles that you guys have, kind of. But let me be honest here. It's not winnable going this way. Which way should you go?
I should have just stayed on the tent or
stayed on the angle, right? Stay on the angle, help your Widow clutch this up. Make the Sigma pick and choose and allow the other angle to pop off, right? That's the only way that you go. So what happens is you create distance between yourself and Widow, and this is all you need to see to be using your shift, by the way.
Yeah.
And that's a true stagger.
Yeah. I always have it in my mind, like in a losing fight, I need to start rotating back towards my spawn, right? Not like you said, onto the angle.
But you can only do that if you're Soldier Kiriko.
Yeah.
Right? Because in that situation there, you are on the opposite side. So you can't rotate in the open and make it all the way to the other side unless you're already there.
Yeah.
You and your Widow just needed to clutch the fight out. If you're Soldier Kiriko, you can run and disengage.
Yeah.
Good. Now that was shocking to me.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I'm like, that's actually incredible that you didn't even use a cooldown here.
Yeah, well, you missed.
What happened? Was it just
on my end or
you're in? Yeah.
Yeah. No. I saw them come in, and I don't know. I just egoed him. I knew he wasn't that good.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's awkward. I definitely should have used an ability. I should have shifted.
Probably should have. I think. Yeah.
Because Lamp will get taken out with, like, every time I lamp in those scenarios, when he like dash swings, the lamp gets taken out, and it doesn't even benefit. So
like that
shift, go
dash,
top,
swing, shift, then lamp afterwards. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I think
this regenerative burst sucks. Why?
Yeah. No one's gonna die.
No one's gonna die. No one's gonna die, right? And again, you're in a situation here where you're likely to walk forward and take space. So this is definitely a situation where I might need my shift here. I might need my shift here. I might need my shift here. Heck, I could even use my shift now. Let us actually walk forward and take space safely. Yeah.
I think another time Ultraviolet said I could use shift is either to save someone or for aggressive pressure, right?
That's
like
it.
If we're good, like if we're up one, right? Like you said there, if I shift, it doesn't really matter because we're up.
Exactly.
And if we get another kill off of it, it's absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Double sig gameplay.
Ooh. Almost as good as my mechanics. Almost.
Yeah. I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying.
All right. I've been working with the guys a little bit. Okay, so what about this screams lamp to you?
Crit, and I can see the Genji's half as well. And I didn't have sightline on the enemy team really here. I don't really know who's up there and who's in the corner. I don't know if Soj has rail, and what
do you see in the right corner of your screen or the right hand side of your screen?
I see a Sigma.
Yeah.
CR2
So you know something damage is going to keep pumping this guy's direction. Right?
That's what I imagine, and since I didn't have adequate information, I'd rather throw it out than have someone die. But it was a bad throw nonetheless.
Well, yeah.
I feel like when they changed the hitboxes, they've changed my window or my lamp. I mean,
they might have. I'm honestly.
I feel like it catches on ledges much more, like it did there. Like
you mean it's easier to hit?
Yeah. No, it's not.
Too bad it doesn't do like 60 damage. You just start getting killing blows with throwing your lamp at somebody. Again, given our without hindsighting and going, oh well, he didn't need it there. Given at that exact moment with what you could see before, was it a reasonable lamp? Yes, it was, because of the enemy, because of the damage, because of his positioning, because of his HP. Yes, so lamp's good.
Okay, cool.
That's all you need. Was that shift reasonable?
No, I don't think so.
I actually disagree.
Well, I was about to say, if he didn't use Suzu, then absolutely that shift is worth. But us using both is kind of a waste.
Right. So this might be something that you need to kind of communicate more with your Kiriko. Maybe it's an unfortunate thing, but I think let's just for the sake of our argument here, not from team play, but for the argument of like what we're going for. Given their positioning, given what you're hearing, given what you're seeing with the enemy sightlines, given their positioning, yes, the shift is necessary.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. I heard the Sig ult, and I saw them crit out in the open.
Yeah.
So I shift. Can't save that.
Nope.
I also have some Kiriko gameplay I would like to look at, as those are the two characters I mainly play.
Works for me.
So whenever you think a good time to swap over.
Sure. I think we can probably finish this defense.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was this defense, and then I've got some Sarabasa, as you may have saw.
Yep, works for me.
I go for a big play here.
I like this. It's just too late.
Yeah.
Should have been here.
You think it's too late?
Yeah, it should have been ages ago. You should be peaking right now.
Yeah.
It should be peaking right now. So you needed to hustle. Too much hesitation here.
Yeah, it was.
Because your Genji's your tank for you right now. Your Genji's your tank. So yeah. Great play though.
Yeah. We clutch it up.
We'll use it right now though. You see it?
Use what?
Lamp.
Oh, the crit and the Genji. See, in my mind,
yeah, go ahead.
Even on a replay, I'm so focused on I need to kill this Sig right now.
I don't think it's bad, but like there needs to be like that. Your eyeball needs to be in that crit situation, and like Ultraviolet says, like use your abilities to go aggressive. Like throw the lamp there so that then you could just focus on doing your damage and not worrying about healing.
Which is what I did, but I like you pointed out, I did it late.
It's order of operations, right? Yeah. It's like your damage comes first when in reality throwing the ability and then continue to do damage is a faster way of doing things.
Okay.
And a more effective way of doing things. Okay, so what are you seeing as some things that need to be practiced here? And we can run a few minutes over. Don't worry too much about that.
Okay. I think the big thing is, like you pointed out, I've never even heard that idea or even thought about it myself, is, I'm predicting what's going to happen. That's why I'm like, I'm hovering my finger over shift. I'm waiting. I never do that. I'm more reactive, or maybe I kind of do it, but it's subconsciously. I think I need to start looking for opportunities to be ready with my cooldowns. And then that way I don't waste it. Cause if I know what I'm looking for, okay, my Genji's close, then I shift, and then I'm never late, or it's never wasted.
Genji's close. Use what's an ultimate that you need to be ready for with your CDs. Give me an example. Anything, not necessarily Cyber Duel.
Soj rail, if I know Soj has ult, I'm ready for lamp to try to survive a headshot.
Teammates' positions. What might be a situation where you're paying very close attention to your CDs because of a teammate's position? Give me an example.
When they're out in the open, far from cover, maybe lack of CDs, right? If my Sig doesn't have his E ability.
Yep.
Or shift, whichever it is. And he's far from cover. I'm sitting there waiting for shift.
Okay. What else do you need to practice? We talked about CDs a little bit. I know that doesn't completely encompass everything that you're struggling with, maybe with CDs, but I think that's probably the most important thing to work on with CDs is reading the room so that you can make the decision properly.
Got you. And then I guess the other thing that was apparent was cover usage. Positioning and distance management kind of seemed well, but I was there was cover available that I wasn't using for a lot of this game. Is that what you're thinking? Or
yeah, I agree. I'm just taking some notes here.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think in general it's just a couple of times, but remember it's the 5% of times that are going to cost you. Let's see here. I think that's it. I think the only thing that we talked about was the opposite side of the CDs when you weren't too late, but you used it when they were behind cover and there was no threat nearby. I think that's kind of what needs to be worked. Okay,
and
any
that's
questions?
easy for me to recognize after the fact.
Any questions?
I don't believe so. I think I understand this matchup pretty well because this gets played a lot. Teams love playing Circuit Royale for whatever reason.
Psychopaths.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate it.
Yeah. Okay. You want to look at some Kiriko?
Yes, sir. And then there's only 2 Flashpoint maps, so of course Sarabasa is the only one ever played.
Yeah, I find that funny. I think New Junk City is just a little bit more open, a little bit more unpredictable.
Yeah. I like New Junk City better in ladder, but for sure if I'm playing in this setting, I love playing
Makes sense.
Sarabasa.
Makes sense. Okay, so from what we're seeing here, like why this code? What about this code? What did you want to look at specifically with this code?
Specifically with this code, I think it's really just the only good Kiri game I have in, of course in the replays, but kind of same thing is I want to on Kiriko, I think I need to focus on my target priority, right? Like who am I shooting and who am I healing? And I think that's something I didn't do well this game.
Okay.
Was now, like the weaving and I don't know. I feel like it's just so hard to, with a Lucio, I feel like I have to do so much.
Right. Okay, sounds good. Let's take a look here. I'm curious here.
I drop.
What's the purpose of this angle?
It's a hard angle to get to, and I think I like it because it gives me plenty of opportunities to shoot, and then it's very easy disengage. Like cover is just walking back.
Sure, makes sense. Okay, and then why shooting the Lucio here?
That would be who's killable, right? Like I'm not going to kill the Junker Queen, but this Lucio could potentially die.
Do you generally focus supports, or is it just what you saw here?
I feel like I do, and then also I generally focus. I focus the squishies, either support or their DPS.
Great. I want you to take a look at this here.
And for me, it's also who I feel good at 1v1ing. Like, I'm not going to waste much time trying to kill a Genji. Just because the shots are hard to hit. He's got to disengage. He's got wall climb. He's got deflect.
I was waiting. I was waiting for that. Okay. So, let me be honest with you. This is a mistake. This angle here is fine. But the fact that your attention is you're shooting at the wrong target here.
Yeah. Here's why. Well, Lucio's going to just speed out, right? I mean, he's going to be hard to kill.
You're looking at it from not a wrong perspective, but only a level 1 perspective. Let's bump you up to a level 2. You're asking who can I actually kill and using that as a target priority. And that's great, right? But you're masters now. You got to look a little bit deeper than that. What's another reason why you would shoot somebody besides getting a kill?
Just to apply pressure to make them take cover, to peel, use cooldowns.
Sure. And how does that affect your target priority? Like, who's the easiest person in the enemy team to kill, right? Maybe Kiriko, Cassidy, maybe, right?
Yeah.
But why are you not shooting them?
Projectile, distance.
Okay. No, let's stop right there. Distance. How much damage is this Genji or Cassidy doing right now?
It depends. I feel like on my Junker Queen, not a lot. Maybe on like my Genji, he could be doing very good damage.
Sure. How much? Who is the biggest threat from the enemy team right now in terms of pressure?
Our Genji.
Okay. And what about the enemy team?
They're Genji.
They're Genji. Why?
They're both, they're the, what am I? They're positioned the most aggressively. They're on the high grounds, and they're the most in front of the team.
So why should you be shooting the Genji here?
Why should I guess like I said, I feel like he's not killable for me because he's just going to use CDs and get out.
Sure, but why should you be shooting him?
Yeah, because if I help my Genji with that or apply just even one kunai of pressure, he could win that 1v1, or I could force out cooldowns that then my Genji could capitalize on.
What does winning that 1v1 look like? Does it mean killing? Not necessarily.
No,
what does the Genji do instead?
Him get out of the fight.
So where does he go?
He's not. He drops down or he goes back with the Kree.
Okay, and then how much pressure is he doing from that position?
Nothing.
And then what does that allow you and your Genji to do?
Either apply pressure on the targets that are split, or I would say shoot who's split.
Either one, really, right?
Yeah,
it's up to you.
Either one's good.
You've isolated the backline now, so these guys are exposed. You can also walk forward very aggressively and shoot these guys because you're not worried about the Genji dashing or diving on you anymore. Here's what I want you to think about. If we just zoom out here, you need to look at the battlefield from a support standpoint about the power of positions. And you need to prioritize shooting the targets that you're good at killing, right? Obviously. But also prioritize targets that have aggressive or dangerous off angles.
Okay.
The problem with what you're doing right now is that you're thinking, oh, maybe Lucio is more killable than Genji. And maybe you're right. But the problem is not only is that a missed opportunity to get rid of the Genji, but actually, let's say that your Genji, the Sparrow actually bails you out here. If Sparrow didn't bail you out here, there's a real chance this Genji forces your Suzu and maybe even kills you.
Yeah.
You need to look at the angles that are threatening you and your team and deal with them. And not instead just ignore them to just kind of shoot whatever's on main. You need to deal with this. Because that's not only the most important for you selfishly, but it's also selflessly what's going to prevent you from getting killed.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something I've never thought about. That's amazing.
And the reason why that's important, though, is because the reason why you didn't shoot Genji is because you're prioritizing who can I kill, like who's the juiciest, most satisfying target to duel versus who's the most important person to shoot, who's on the most aggressive off angle.
Yeah.
This might be a tracer on the flank, and you just hit a body shot in a tracer or a headshot in the tracer. You don't kill her, but you know what? What do? Recall, force to grab a blink, force her to slow down for a few seconds so she's not as much of a threat. You have to give respect to these off angles. Because even the fact that you dropped there, why did you drop?
Because of the Genji.
Because of the Genji, right? So you gave up position because you're scared of the Genji. And so now, like, is this a terrible position to be? No, it's fine. That's all right. But
I lost a better position.
But you lost a better position,
because
right?
Because I made two mistakes.
Exactly. See, this is fine because where's the aggressive off angle here, right?
That Kree.
Now, right, the Kree. But now I want you to close your eyes and I want you to listen right now. Listen.
And the Genji's dead, yeah.
You hear that? The Genji's dead,
TP?
but another Genji's alive. He just dashed right behind you.
Oh, I thought that was the enemy Genji dying. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, no, that was your Genji. And now you have to get your TP for us. Was it bad that you TP'd? No, it was fine. But there was almost an element of surprise there. Oh no, he's on me. Like what? Like you needed to know that.
Yeah.
Don't look away from this guy. If he's on an aggressive position, you need to take him. Now, if that had been a Lucio, same thing. You should have gone for the Lucio. If that had been a Kiriko on an angle, take the Kiriko. And this is honestly just too close. He has the advantage in the close range duel. You need to get out here.
Yeah, I was trying to TP to the Genji.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's fine. Your job is to control spaces, Kiriko, through damage. So, it's who you damage, though.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said your job is to control space through damage, but it's who you damage.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Where, and honestly, more than that, actually, it's where you damage. Where is the target that you're damaging?
Yeah.
Like now.
And you're right. Yeah, now that I can't two-tap people, I need to get into the mindset of just shooting people who are holding aggressive angles and that not even looking for a kill anymore. But like you said, if I just pressure that Genji the fight goes completely different.
Your job is to not let them have angles and let you have angles. That's your job.
Got you.
Good ult. I mean, this here, there's nothing to do but just turn your brain off and aim at head height.
Yeah, right? That's what I do.
But as this fight evolves, you know, as this fight evolves, obviously, you know, like for example here, you might take a more aggressive position. Nice, Suzu.
I saved 2, I think.
Yeah, that's good. I would definitely be taking a more aggressive angle here. So like as soon as that high noon's done, I would be already wall climbing up on the right and kind of taking up my own angle here.
Yeah.
Nice fight. Good stuff.
And that's something I used to not do, is climb that wall until I saw you tell another Kiriko to do it.
It's an option, you know. It's an option.
It works great.
That fight was easy, right? No off angles at all. Just turn your brain off, weave. You know, you could have hit more shots, but the Suzu was great. The ult was fine. You did int with your positioning, so, you know, GG easy.
Yeah.
Who's the priority target to shoot right now? If you can turn your attention away from Junker Queen.
Yeah, the Lucio, because he could probably go for touch.
Yeah.
Or the Genji on the off angle.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which I didn't even know he was there till.
That's a major problem. That's a major problem. Yeah. Because you know what's going to happen is you should not get your Suzu forced here. I mean, even without beat. Like, let's say that they use beat here, or you guys don't use beat here. You just shouldn't even. I mean, this guy's like, he's missing, like he's already 170 HP. Look at the distance that you have, and you have your TP. This guy should get his deflect force instantly, and then you should honestly maybe even kill him. Why? You have beat. Hit him in the mouth.
Yeah. I didn't know I was getting the beat.
But even if you didn't have the beat, at least give him a shot, then TP away, right? I don't know. I think in general, there's a little bit of a hesitancy. It's odd because of how aggressive you were with Baptiste, how much ego that you had with Baptiste. It sometimes feels you're hesitant to contest these angles on Kiriko. Like you tend to turn your blind eye, you don't look at them, and then because you're not looking at them, you get scared and run away.
Bap is my strongest character. That's who I play.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And so that's why I wanted to make sure I got some Kiri looked at.
Right. Well, I'm glad we're looking at this.
Because this is a character I do good on. Like there's a lot of times where I really hit my shots and carry a fight and, you know, play the angles perfectly because I watch awkward, off angle, damage. And I do that sometimes. Yeah.
But what happens to the off angle on you?
Yeah. I don't play that well at all.
And that right. I agree. And that's where like you need to be more comfortable marking and fighting these off angles and just contesting them. Now, this is an interesting swap here because they've gone Pharmacy Echo. So some of these off angles that they take, you're just not going to do a really good job shooting, right? Mm-hmm. It's not going to be a Genji situation where it's hard to kill. It's just going to be hard to do anything. So then you're going to need to be creative here. Let's see what you do.
Well, I won't spoil it, actually.
That's fine.
We full kill him and they insta swap to a different comp.
I'm glad. I that's such a cheesy comp.
Yeah.
Your comp is actually fairly good versus theirs.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're off because it's cornball comp.
That's something that my DPS struggle with is if the other team goes far, we pretty much lose. It's ridiculous. And edit that out so other teams don't know.
Even here, small thing here, it's amazing how like a tracer takes an angle on you. You heal, but you don't even like, okay, here, heal. But you need to find, where is that tracer?
Yeah, I should have looked, absolutely.
Oh no, she missed.
Yeah, big whiff.
Big whiff indeed. I mean, they're getting rolled here. Okay. Okay, let's see. This one's gonna be easy. Little close. Yeah, definitely too close here. So just hold your mouse one and shoot. Don't worry about wall. Wall will fall. Wall will break. Just sit here and shoot. Sit here and shoot. You don't. Worst case scenario would be here with no cooldowns, right? You don't want to be there with no cooldowns. So you just want to hold the angle here and just shoot.
Especially with Kitsune, right?
Kitsune, just sit here and shoot, right? Sit here and shoot. Sit here and shoot. Sit here and shoot. You don't want to get your CDs forced. Because then you actually have to leave the off angle the soldier that you should be supporting here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
yeah that's not good. And that's what gets you killed. Okay. Okay, they're back on Tracer. No surprises. You know where she is. Deal with her.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is.
Here's what I would say here. I would not be against you even rotating here. So what you could do here is
rotate left.
Rotate left, right. Now, why would you rotate left?
They're not taking that angle, and it would be unexpected. And then also, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. It's an angle they're not taking.
I'll give you one more detail. Where's your teleports?
Nowhere. And I would have the soldier for my TP.
You have your soldier for your TP. You see that? So not only do you wrap around while you provide pressure. Now, why would you rotate left and not right?
The tracer's right. I know the tracer's right. So that's why.
So the video that I just linked to you in the messages, if anyone's watching this video, it's called Perfect Positioning. Is exactly that. Where are the threats? Rotate away from the threats or contest the threats. You choose. Yeah, exactly.
And versus a tracer, I probably don't want to contest that, right? Because
it's not worth your time. It's not worth your time when you got other things to worry about, right? If you have to, like you versus the Genji, then yes, you need to look him in the eye and beat him in the mouth, right? But if you can avoid him in general and just find value elsewhere, that's fine too. But yeah, rotate left, create your own off angle here, so that then you can be healing and supporting and damaging from this angle, and then you'll be in a better position to support this. You'll be in a better position to shoot this, and then also, like we said, you'll have your own free escape route. The reason why Awkward's philosophy with Kiriko can work so well is because you always have an escape route.
Yeah.
And you always have an escape route that doesn't put you in the middle of the enemy team. Remember that? Like, that's why it was so important when the Junker Queen with a Kitsune that you're playing really far back so that you didn't have to teleport because you did not want to teleport anywhere where your teammates were, right? With Kitsune, you have to group up a little bit, right? You don't have to, but it's more acceptable to. Yeah. But see, this is scary. This is how you get Blizzarded or, Junker Queen ulted or Carnage or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a bad play.
Well, it's a bad play. That one was a little bit more advanced, But, it's something to think about. Okay. Let's take some notes with Kiriko.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that's something I've noticed that I struggle with in a team setting playing Kiriko is like when I die, I go, man, I didn't have a TP target there,
Right. Right.
And yeah, I need to work on that.
And that's what's the solution then?
Yeah, take those off angles so that I have someone to TP to. Right.
And you notice that these aren't necessarily the quote-unquote awkward off angles where it's like you're literally on the back line shooting in the back of the head, right?
It's just like a soft angle.
It's a soft angle, right? It's a soft angle that allows you to damage and support and to weave and do all those juicy things. So let's take some notes here. So taking soft angles to give you a TP option while still heal supporting, right? What else? What else did we talk about?
Pressuring the aggressive angles other teams are taking.
When contested on angles, either completely disengage or dual contest. Just because you can't kill the angle doesn't mean it's not good value. It is. Remember, when you contest an angle, you're stopping that angle from getting value as well.
Yeah.
That's what you need to be thinking about.
Yeah, I'm completely neglecting that.
Yes. And what makes Kiriko so good is that she's not only good at dueling in terms of getting the kill, because even though that's a little worse, right?
Yeah.
But what's still intact is the inability for people to consistently kill you.
Yeah.
And so even if you lose a duel, just like every other flanker, Genji, Tracer, and so on, you in theory could just, I'm losing, I'm going to disengage to try again, right? And so the same reasons why you were saying, "Oh, I don't want to shoot a Genji because this idiot does this," they have the same things to say about you.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
right, yeah.
so you take the angle there and only tunnel on the targets that are easy for you to kill, if you can choose to, right? Because if somebody contests you, sadly, you have to take that duel. And this is something that I work a lot with tracers, where like I'll be coaching a tracer, and then all of a sudden the enemy tracer marks the tracer, and I'm like, well, you either find a way to wrap around and avoid that tracer, or sadly, you have to take the duel. You can't just cheat, run right past the tracer, and go for backline. You have to match her 1-to-1. Okay, I think that was mostly it. Do you have any other questions or any other points that you think we missed here?
Reading over it, I do not think so.
Okay, let's call it there.